Hello, beautiful people, wherever you are. Welcome back to the G. Here we go, and to the real G. Vibes wanna be coming to you. And remember what Vinci says. Remember one day you will leave the worst behind. Woo! So live a life you will remember. Guys, today I'm feeling very supercalifragistically exprodigious to express my enthusiasm in this kind of the jubilant manner. First, you are going to forgive me because I am going to be so scriburium in this kind of the video about the hectic and the imbroglio we have been thrown into in this kind of the few weeks ago. I have been very anthroposophistic to me, and I want to thank everyone who has been with me in this journey of anthropomongorious and very printivicious weeks that have been back here, because you understand what has been there. A, B, C, D, get to A, woo, get to B, yeah, get to C, read, get to D, yeah. And it's gonna be so fantastic for this kind of the moment. We're gonna be meeting and making sure that you are getting all the points, how they are going, apart from the imbroglio and the postmorons of the time that people are just giving unto us and throwing some of the hectic post-mystics and we can talk about the hooligans of the time, and they're talking about, oh, the hula balloons gonna be coming, yeah, man. And we're gonna be making sure they're gonna be rectifying the mistakes where are being to be rectified right now. And also thank for myself for being compassionate and also competitive in this platform, and being very we can talk about sympathetic, or we can just call it how can we call it sympaphlogistic. Yeah, simple. Woo! Yeah. Today we're gonna be learning much of the words gonna be coming to you live, and we're gonna be getting much of the things how they're gonna be coming to you live, and it's one-on-one. We're gonna be feeling what? Sympathiflagistiki. Woo! Sympathiflagistiki. And it's gonna be a good one that we're gonna be, people gonna be looking for it one-on-one, and this kind of the magnificent way of the time for us to get very forward. In simple times, guys, all I can just say is that I'm going to quantize in this kind of the idiosympathetic manner of the Kenge quadramatic reactions on reactors, on what they're just thinking about. They're gonna be coming to enframe us and thinking about we're gonna be now closing the chapter, and we are the reactors to vanish from the entire system. We are right now, but what has God planned for you, it's gonna be for you. But things are getting hectic outside here, and to the real fact of the time, to the Kenge and the fraternity, I'm going to give you a little advice, saying that reaction live doesn't lead a lot of the trapenia. Otherwise, it may lead into the migrant and the, we can call it the Jumas of radiocracy. And all this kind of the Jublic, talk about the Jublic clamor of the time. We can just talk about, it's just the things that people think about, oh, they're going to be squisberiastic and to this kind of the things, because right now the things are getting worse behind the scene. What is really getting very worse outside here? Things are getting very worse. What is the worstest moment we are over talk about is that we are having this kind of all the people, all the reactors have been already thrown into the pogrom, and right now they're just lubricating and talk about how can I lubricate myself and go back to this kind of the system. Right now everybody is now is it called, what is this one, is now rubbing your head, talking about how am I going to start. But what I can just say is this kind of the people had planned this kind of the reaction far more from much of the time they have ever been targeting us into making sure that the reaction is closed with an immediate effect. And much of the people have not get the tension about what is really happening right now. It seems that people are still getting wrong information outside here. And on trending already, the things are getting banned, and she's already not having anything onto his own channel or on her own channel because things are getting worse. What is the worstest moment we're talking about? She has been striked, and the channel has been already vanished because there's nothing, no content is available. Because when we talk about even right now, things are getting worse. What is really getting worse right now? I can just show you because how the things are going. It means that things are getting worse, and this is the channel 2 on trending. You can just check it. Whenever you see this channel doesn't have any content, and she's having 17,800 and something K subscribers who ever subscribe to her to make sure that things are coming one on one. And these are the reactors who are making sure that we are strengthening the record. But right now, we are thrown into a pogrom already. What is going to be the jubilant manner of us being thrown into that one? Because when the letter was being written, let me tell you how it was. Because on trending wrote and it just posted that the letter was being written to the YouTube with the king himself, and was having so big letter that was talking about the 10 reactors they're gonna be striked and making sure that they're gonna be taking over everything and taking them down, making sure that they're the ones who are diminishing the salary payment of Kenya. What is really happening to this kind of the time? It means that right now they have now understood that things are very crooked. Things are getting worse outside here. What is really meant unto the forum? It means that to the hectic and the movement they have ever been trying to make sure that they are putting other people down. I was ever telling people, one day, one time, we will be the people who will ever take this kind of a man into where he thought about. Because when he was talking bad about us, he never recognized that times come. Let me tell you one thing, guys. Once upon a time, I can say that once upon a time, people, they knew that I will wake up in the morning and go to the work. But when the NGOs, this kind of the NGOs that were being supplying much of the things to Kenya, into Africa, they were now diminished to make sure that there's no services going to be coming back to Kenya, and they're going to be going to any kind of the third world countries. From the United States, everybody understand it. So it was cut short. Now, the people who are waking up very early in the morning, who told them it will ever come one day they'll never have a job? They'll go to a job and be told, go back home, there's no job. Whoever knew? And that is what we're ever telling much of the people. Once I was starting to do this kind of the videos, I was telling people that once upon a time, when YouTube will ever say that there's no more YouTube again, people will go back to the Stone Age. And this is the fact now, it's going to be coming. Right now, yes, on trending will ever say about what is really meant right now, because much of the things are getting worse. Things are getting worse outside there. Things are not properly done. Things are getting circumferentially bad. And people, they have ever been... You understand, guys, when you ever wake up and talk about, I have 2 videos to make like me, and you think about, what am I going to make for today? What kind of the content? And the only thing that you are emphasizing is how the content going to be, because it's like a job that you understand. Because when you're talking about you're going to be in this kind of the forum or the platform, you have to make sure that talk about the creativity is coming and the content is coming at the same time. But the fact that has come out is right now people are waking up to talk about now what am I going to do. But a small thing to on trending, I'm very sorry for what happened, and I know and you ever alerted us very early and very possible, because what I just got from the NBI was saying about this kind of the people, they have already thinking about that because they have just tried with the police and they have seen that things are not getting good, they have already sent all the talk about the platform, talking about this kind of the people have to be dismissed from this kind of the platform. Do you think that we are the owner of the YouTube? And the real fact is, one, we are disgusted with even the YouTube platform, because sometimes it doesn't have a review very good. Because when it allowed the reaction, why couldn't they know that the reaction is the reaction that way? Why could Kenge write to this kind of the YouTube platform and talk about I want these 10 channels to be dropped down? And he wrote a very big script and talking about it's because of them I have declined in terms of views, I have declined in terms of finance, I have declined in terms of popularity, I have declined. It's because of your stupidity, nonsense, silliest manners of the way. Because if you don't understand and you cannot respect the people who are growing, and you grow in a systematic way, you think about you're going to be bringing some of the hula baloos, you're going to be bringing some stupid allegations here, stupid accusations from this side. You're going to be telling even Gintu that I was a thief while I was just preparing your own fish pond, and I was the one who made sure that the fish pond is working properly. Now you think about the people are stupid, and you went ahead and told the people to unsubscribe from me, and you think about you are the YouTube. Very stupid. And right now you will decline, and you will come so as you will be baptized with the people you thought about you will baptized. And that's the fact. Because when we come to the real fact of the time and how we're going to be getting forward, it means that people are having jealousy on this kind of the reaction. And reaction is not an easy work. Yes, I understand that he gave 20 copyrights to JT. Where was the copyright coming from? Much of the people have not yet understood where the copyrights are coming from. This kind of the copyright is where JT was speaking and talking about, yes, check on this kind of the cover, or this is the small synopsis, or this is a small recap, or this is a small, we can talk about a receipt. And they were showing much of the receipt about how the king and his own a stupid fraternity, they're thinking about how to control the genome of the time. And this is the phenotypic time of whenever we want to talk about this is the phenotypic way of us to go forward, and this is the genome of us to get forward. It means that we should analyze everything properly. For the people to understand you, you should have a cover, you should have a receipt, you should have such kind of a thing. But how the things are going to be getting, that is where now the YouTuber has not come to the reality of the time. Because when it allowed a reaction and it allowed people to make such kind of the videos, it never, whenever it wants to strike your video or put a strike onto your videos, because whenever you write a letter, because this kind of the letter, it has been written and much of the YouTube channels have been channeled there. So as people will just be diminished, because JT was the first person on trending, M. Carol, Gintu, Masuboan, I don't know, much of the people from the village also, they have been targeted. Talk about Nairobi teacher, because when you see where the reaction came from, it's where now they started sending much of the police so as they can just attack Gintu. And because Gintu is from the same village, now they sent the father who is the conduct so as they can come and attack me with the people who are hula goons and the goons from I don't know where, so they can just come and capitulatively think about they're going to be touching Gintu and taking everything, or thinking about they're going to be handling every kind of the asquirspiriums of the time. But the fact has to come out critically that everything has its own position, everything has its own time, and that's the fact. Kenge, your time is already out, because you talked about you have 7 good years in the platform of YouTube. That is the fact that you wrote that kind of the letter. It was saying that I'll have 7 years on the talk about the YouTube platform. I've never found a very terrible, and also talk about a very hard time and a very hard competition time in the platform like 2024 and 2025. And he talked about much of this kind of the reactors are using his own content so they can just make their own content, and they're just accusing and also taking much of how can we call it, the trust of the people from him. And that is what he was ever talking about. And all of these papers, they were written with Mr. Sex Seal, and we have this kind of the stupid hula goon again, who is called the Didi Uncle. And they were just talking about, oh, we're going to be now coming out as a boom. You're going to be coming but nothing, because you don't have anything to offer to the society. And if you think we're going to be coming back to the village, Gintu is back with you to make sure that you're going to not have anything to do and to the village, because I'm going to be making sure that you are diminished the way the Kenge is diminishing. Because we ever said this world belongs to everyone. Not that, oh, because I have this kind of the cerebral, and now I want to make sure that that's not even the bonds we are talking about, the cerebral bonds. No, you are nothing, my friend, because the only thing right now you have to do is the little money you are getting, and stupid thinking about you're going to be getting much of the donations that you're going to be talking about. That's when much of the people are talking about, how can you ask even for the Pampas? It was not a lie. It's because people have seen it. There's no money you are getting. And right now you have diminished in a way that even there's no money for you to take you from Argentina back to Kenya. Stupidity of the highest order. How can a man be just an African man. It's very, very stupidical that an African man can leave his own home and go and live in mother-in-law and father-in-laws and talk about now you are just living a very humble, very stupid of the highest order. And how can we discriminate this? And how can we put this kind of the stuff whenever even visitors approach to our area and talk about, oh, I know this kind of a person called Kenge. Where is he? And people are talking about he's living in my mother-in-law's house. Very stupid of the highest order. And you are married, my friend. And there's no money for taking you from Argentina. Last time you stole money from the deceased woman. Who is Ross DJ? Rest in peace, our DJ. And right now you're thinking about now you took the money to Argentina. Right now you have just opened the GoFundMe. It is not working. It's already kaboom. And right now you're just talking about how can I get money. You are now looking helter-skelter, Bible kill slash style, and talk about you're going to be looking for the fundraise. The fundraise is not working. You talked about you're going to be opening the hospital or the mental hospital. It's going to be now putting you into that mental hospital whenever you arrive, because right now you have nothing to offer to the society. When you have started attacking all the reactors and thinking about now you want to diminish them, they're going to be coming back. Give us 2 weeks only. We're going to be in the real booming that we're going to be, because we're going to be making sure that we are sharing the channel so as people can know. On trending, wherever you are, don't get dismiscuous here and there. Just send me the link. I'm going to be posting it onto making sure that people are going to be getting it and subscribing again onto your channel and making sure that you are growing. Even you can just monetize you in a 2-day time and we'll just monetize your video. That is the fact. Whenever you make sure that we are supportive. And that is the real fact. Not only on trending, whoever feels that you want to be making sure that this kind of the saga, this kind of the hula baloo, shagara bagara, irresonant response from the Kenge. Think about they're going to be shutting everybody down. We're going to be coming back with the channels, and that is the fact. And it's because of some jealousy behavior. You think about, oh, this kind of a person is gaining than me. I was the one. You are a bridge, and that's the fact. I will ever say this as a fact. Kenge, you are ever a bridge to this kind of all the reactors and all the YouTubers to go, because you are the only person who told me that if you see this road is not working, look for another road. So when I look for another road, now you're coming out to tell us, oh, now I have to shut you. Yet you shutted me in the first road. Now I went to the second road. Now you want again to shut us down. That is stupidity of the highest order. And that is something that we can talk about. It's a lack of, talk about competition. Competitive. You are no longer a competitive guy. And everybody right now in Kenya, no one even recognizes you are even available. Because how can a man be married? You know, this is very stupidical things. How can a man be married to a wife? Yeah? How can you be married to such kind of and you're not even into our area, you are married into Argentina, and you're talking about guys, oh, look at my, oh, every day is in-law, every day is in-law, every day. You are boring already. And that's the fact. And right now you have nothing to offer to the society. You have nothing to regain. You have vanished properly. And that is what is now called karma. You get it? You get it? Exactly. Because when you are even mocking God and talking about, oh, this kind of the way, the stomach is being drawn, and you're talking about, oh, the drawing is here of the stomach, yeah, we are pregnant, you and who, mongoose? Who and who you are pregnant? And that is the time that you talked about, I'm not God, but I'm promising you, all the people who are watching Gintu, are watching Mugesi, are watching these reactors, and your days are numbered. Whose days are numbered? Between us and you. Your days are declining, because whenever you are always told that even the dancer knows the good time to get out of the field, to get out of the podium, to get out of the dancing, because you will go in an extent that you will have now no content to offer. That is the fact. You just surrender and leave the village to continue. Whoever the reaction will ever be there, and everybody, whenever I ventured into reaction, that's the reaction. Blah, 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 blah. Pulo. We have to make sure that everything is moving very fast. Kaende, kaende. That's the fact. Because when a person thinks about, you can monk God, and also you can think about you are now the small God of the village. Sometimes, yes, you're going to talk about, oh, people are going to be supporting you. Oh, you take us to the court. Oh, you take us to the police. Oh, you take us here. You always say about this kind of the people will never rest. Every day you wake up, you talk about, oh, hey, the people are here. Oh, the GK is here. Oh, we are not interested. Whether you hire goons, whether you do what. But the fact is, when your day reaches, there's nothing you'll ever do. And your day has reached, Kenge, get out of the platform. That's the only thing I can assure you. Get out of the platform. Do other things, because you scammed too much money. You are thinking about people who are not even getting the point. How can you come and talk about, I want to help you young boys to become like who I am? And yet whenever now we want to rise, now you are talking about this kind of the people are disgrateful, and this kind of the people are ungrateful. So go and unsubscribe, and don't ever watch them entire your life. Stupidity of the highest order. That is what is declining your own affinity. And you are coming to talk about the karma whenever it has hit you. Even that's why we always talk about, you think about when you are intruding, and you are circumphoniously rendering much of the false accusations to this kind of the other reactors, and talking about, oh, now on trending, what do you want on trending to do right now? And don't think about everybody is depending on YouTube the way you are. Look at on trending. She's having her own things and doing her own things in terms of safaris. And she always goes outside there and makes sure that the life is continuing. Look at Mkaro right now. She's in Malindi doing her own things. They have their own businesses running. Do you know the husband of somebody? Do you know the wife of somebody, what they're doing? Maybe I'm here. Do you know what I'm doing? You don't know. And wherever you are there, we know what talk about Argentina long nose she's doing, because she's just there sitting like a mongoose and waiting for the captogenic things to come and eat and be eaten at the same time during the night. That's the only thing. She's just seated there like something else. And she's just seated there to talk about, oh, now this kind of the mongoose is living into her home, so he has to provide. Now you can call him even a she, because she has to provide. Because how can you be married? Now who is the man there? Argentina Longnose is the man, and Kenge is the lady. Now she has to make sure she's providing food, because she's the one who is at their home. That's the fact. And the real fact about how the things are going to be coming, you know, you thought about everything is just the way you are just conjugating, yeah? It's like now everything's like bedumburu. The way you think about you're going to be bullying your own wife. It's not the way you have to bull us outside here. Everybody has his own parent, number one. Everybody has their own kismat, number two. Everybody has his own ways of driving himself or herself. That's the fact. Not everyone is depending on the YouTube the way you depend on it. Not everybody is depending that, oh, I have this kind of the people, they should just contribute money for me to buy a laptop charger. Stupidity of the highest order. That they should just contribute for the pampers of my child. How is that kind of the hula baloos going? It's just ok. Yeah, you're not interested with that one. The fact has to come out clean. If you have to go forward, I said, Kenge, whenever you're going to be coming back to the village, you're going to be looking for the people and putting them together. And if you don't do it, you're going to be circumphoniously knowing things are bad outside here. Because when we intruded and talked about, we're going to be coming to the streets to tell people the reality, not the stupidity from the scamming, grabbing, and talk about molestation, and talk about mistreatment, and even putting people as slaves, and also not paying salaries. Stupidity of the highest. So they think about now you are a celebrity, my foot. Huh? Whenever people are talking, you are now listening from the buttocks. You are saying that you are a man of what? That's not even coming to our own affidavit time. So the fact has to come out very clear, and we have to make sure that everything is no longer going in a circumphonious reasons, and everything has its own reason why it has to happen that way, or it will happen that way. And henceforth, when we come back to the real point, talk about how the letter was. The letter was a very, very, very big letter. It was about like a bill of Kenya. So it was proposing very many things of taking out channels and also striking much of the channels. And he was mentioning that much of the people are using his own videos. And who told you, and why did you upload? And why do YouTube have, talk about, there's something called download. It has a download onto the YouTube. And also it has a clip area. You can just cut a clip. Why does YouTube have it? Sometimes we are having very much disappointed sometimes with YouTube, because it's the one that has facilitated all the fixtures. And all the fixtures, if they have been placed there, a person can download. I can reuse that content while my own face or my body, or it's going to be in a different mode that I'm available. That's what they're ever doing. And maybe we can talk about much technology that has diversed. Maybe they have done things which were not recommendable. Maybe we can talk about it, but it has brought much of the things down. Because when I say about even me, 4 videos were about to be taken down because they have been demonetized. And when I appeal so they can just be reviewed manually, they came out and talked about your video is very good and it's suitable for the advertisations. And that's the fact. But much of the people having jealousy outside here, and I've never used his own face. I'm not interested, because when I come out as Gintu, the real G, to make sure that I'm giving you the content, it's always a content which is straightforward. And making sure that we're going to be getting everything very straight. And which is bringing much of the hectic is where much of the people talk about, let's see the receipt. That receipt is a problem right now, because they're going to be talking about, that is my face, that is my content. And you're going to be claiming, because you cannot tell me that this kind of the people, they are doing bad things and they have already joined themselves. And when we are talking about people are joining themselves, much of the reactors right now, they are now by faulting themselves and just going at a section and talking about, no, I cannot go hand in hand with Gintu, because of this and that, this. It's just the stupidity of the highest order. But when we come to the reality on how things are going, right now they have just got themselves in a group. And right now they are making sure that east, west, south and center, they're making sure that they are putting down channels. That's a fact, so as they can come back and do their own molestation, that people now fear that, when I say about them, they're going to be now striking my channel again. Stupidity of the highest order. We are back and we're going to be there and be there, because when people are selected, and I said it, that when an axe was introduced unto the forest, one of the trees said, one of us will ever betray us and be a handle. That's the fact. When I was unto the Kenge fraternity, thought about this kind of the people going to be this way. But right now, nobody is bothered. Look at the people are talking about, Kenge A, Kenge B, Kenge every time here and there. And right now, they think about they're going to be doing anything so suspirium. The thing is one. For the regenum and also the hyper way that we have to get forward, it means that where people are lacking the content outside here. And the people are lacking that moment. They think about, they're going to be talking about, Kenge, is available, Kenge this way. He doesn't have a transport to come back home. That's the fact. So whenever you are thinking about Kenge going to be coming back, doesn't have any money to come back to Kenya, because you're going to be asking for who can donate me money, who can make, who can put me money so as I can just, because whenever he was alone, he could just make sure that he's putting himself down so as he can have and earn a lot of money, and also and he was gaining views. Right now, a person can get even 10K, and now you are just the same the way we are, and you thought about people will never acknowledge it. The only fact that has to come out is we are being pumped with the peer pressure. And whenever people are talking about this kind of the things, because when there's a YouTube channel called Ikonini, when they came out to talk about Kenge is always using scammers so as they can just scam much of the people. People have understood it, and right now in Kenya, people don't like him because of what he thinks about now is a very big celebrity in Kenya, and is nothing right now because he has nothing to offer. The fight is always giving to talk about the guy who is from the Ghana guy. Thinking about you're going to be having a competition to even the people who are exceeding even the whole Nyabohanse in terms of subscribers. Whenever we talk about the subscription in Nyabohanse, we don't reach even 1.2 million. Everybody is just lacking there. And you're just competing with the person who is even exceeding the whole Nyabohanse when we are combined, including Kenge and the demon. And you are thinking about you're going to be fighting you are fighting a losing battle. That's the fact. And when we come to the straightforward picture, let us not enframe ourselves that, oh, you think more and you think about you're going to be knowing more than other people, and you are mocking other people, bullying other people, think about you're going to be talking about cyber water, and thinking about you're going to be now deleting everything and taking out all the channels, and you are striking all the channels. You think about you're going to be now winning it. The only fact is one. Always the truth will cover the spot. And that's the fact. There's no way you ever go with not the truth. Whenever the truth will ever come, whether you do anything at night, whenever it's going to be in the morning, everybody will know that something happened and this is the person who did it. That is the fact. So when you want to get outside there and tell people that you are the only person you want to control the YouTube, do you think that you are like a cock? You want to talk about it, just pa out, pa out, pa out. You think you are a cock of Nyabohanse? You are nothing right now. And you're going to be making sure they're going to be hosting you when you come. And you're going to be first person to be mentally dehydrated and put into the hospital you're going to be building. And it's gonna not happen. Because there's no much of the time for you. Nobody has time for you. Think about it. Gonna be coming from the GCast live now, right now. Let's go check on it, the wiring, how it's gonna be going, and what is coming out right now. Guys, we are back to the G Castle here, and everything is going as normal as we just planned about it, because today we have just make sure that we are enclosing everything, like the pipe bridges here, to make sure that they are securely placed here, because of you know how the cement is going to be placed here, so as we can just have everything being handled in a good way. So all the pipings here, they have been already enclosed with the cement, which is like the cement and the sand, to make sure that everything is placed in a way that whenever the plaster gonna be coming, it's gonna be so easy for the plaster to flash on it. So it has been just been placed here so as they can have the security. No one can just come and tamper with this kind of the piping here, and also no one can just come to take them out of this place. So they have already been placed with the cement that will enclose them here very, very firmly. So everywhere it has been already progressed, because this is the main room, and which is the sitting room here. And much of the people are talking about into your house looks very small. Guys, this is not a small house. It's only maybe you are just checking whenever you are wherever you are watching the video from. But the fact is that the house is so big. This is the sitting room here, so you can just check how the bigger it is, and this is the sitting room. So I think they've just made things here to come out okay, because they are talking about, we have sockets here. We have one, we have two sockets, we have the third one here, we have the fourth one there, and also we have, this is an enclosed, I don't know what they call it, and this is for the Wi-Fi switch. We have this one here, it's going there, it's gonna be like the Wi-Fi coming in. We have this one here, it's for because we have the other one is coming, it's like an antenna, talk about the aerial, and this is for the TV switch box there. So everywhere it's gonna be having, like from there, it's gonna be having a switch box there. We have a switch box here. We have not a switch, guys, it's talk about the switch boxes are here. Let me talk about the switch boxes. They're here. I've just confused there a little bit, because this is a switch box here. So this is gonna be called this one now. They're gonna be having a socket. Yeah, the socket box is here. That's a socket. and these are the sockets here, and there's no switches here. They're all sockets, and they're double, and they're just going around to make sure that everything is so fantastic. So they are just turning around, and when we come, this is just to make sure that we are lighting inside here whenever we're going to be coming to the computer room. And this is a foyer, and we have the talk about this one is to make sure that it's for the switch of here, and also the switch for the inside also. So when we come here, this is the computer area. We're going to be having this kind of a socket here and a socket here. We have another one here for receiving the signal, or the talk about the Wi-Fi from there, and we have the entry here. So everything is arranged so systematic here to make sure that everything is so fantastic as we continue with the progress of the day. So even talk about the much of the people are talking about the CCTVs. The CCTVs are always they have been fixed already, and I can just show you where they have been fixed and how they have been fixed. So we have this kind of we can talk about the CCTV as boxes here, and another one here. So this one here gonna be throwing to the talk about the south part. The other one gonna be throwing to the east part there to make sure that everything is so good here. And also to the top here, to the top of the deck here, we have the talk about the charging ports here. We're going to be having all of them aligned here, as you can just check on them and this kind of the area. So things are getting so good here, as you can just check. Everything is so possible coming out from the top side of the G Castle, and making sure that everything is getting to you live, which is one-on-one. And when we get down to check on what is really happening to the downer part of the G Castle. The G Castle is good here, and we are going on with a good moment here. So, oh, my dog's here. Security is preserved here, and everything is so fantastic. So, I was talking about the lady was talking about going to be using the $10 in terms of a day, in terms of a coco dog, and talking about a famous dog. Which is a famous dog? We are security. We are no longer talking about a famous dog or a celebrity dog. We are not interested. What we are interested is, can they provide security pattern? Exactly. So every dog has its own purpose. That is the good moment that we have. So here we have let me check on the box here, because it has already been placed here, and everything is working good. So it's going to be having a key, and it's written danger. Woo! Gonna be danger. So everything is so fantastic. That's where the electricity will just be entering from, and getting to the main box here, and now getting some of the other stuffs here. I don't know what kind of the stuffs they're here, because I'm not meant into this kind of the position of even talking about the electricity, guys, because I don't know. I don't know how this kind of the things do work. But we are talking about this is the movement, and whenever this kind of the people see how the things are moving, they talk about, oh, this kind of the person is this way, is that way, but we have to get forward. Despite that we are having, everybody has a challenge. But when we see that now I have just done with the piping, and already I have electricity here. So let me check. I have electricity here already, and it's not that I have to place first. We are talking about I have to place what is called talk about the ceiling timbers. They have to be fixed here, and the plaster has to continue. And also after placing here the ceiling board timbers, I have to make sure that now the piping are now passing everywhere. So I'm gonna be now completing it whenever the ceiling timbers are already placed here, so they can just determine where will the lightings be, and the piping will just go where necessary. That is the main effect of why we are doing this kind of the job here. So as we can just check, everywhere is already fixed, and now the house is becoming so dark. Exactly. And already we have yeah, the electricity is here, so it has not been tapped correctly, but the electricity is available, so it is off. So whenever you turn up This is electricity is on. Exactly. So everything is so fantastic. The electricity is here. So it's gonna be secure, because I'm gonna be making sure that no one is coming to tamper, because I told you that I'm gonna be having some welding of the windows being fixed onto the house here very, very recently. That's why you are just checking we are having electricity using the 2.5 wires, because I asked the welder that the 2.5 gonna do the work, and they're talking about the 2.5 gonna be doing the work more fantastic. That's why it has just penetrated from there, and it has reached onto this kind of the position, and they're gonna be making sure that we are they're gonna be now taking their own gadgets, because they're gonna be having their own wiring and everything. So whenever they're gonna be taking it from here, it's gonna be now working from the sitting room. So the main effect is they're gonna be using this kind of the sitting room to make sure that everything is coming one-on-one, and making sure that everything gonna be formulated from this hall here. And this is the best moment that we are ever working for, and everyone is talking about, oh Gint, we are moving, because I'm now gonna be talking about the only getting the welding. After welding, we're gonna be making sure that I'm looking for the tiles on top there, to make sure that I'm finishing from the top there, the tiling of the top side, and also from there I'm gonna be making sure that now I'll seal everything, so security will be preserved, and there's no one who can access this kind of the house without my acknowledgement. Right now, somebody can just come and just enter. The way you can just enter into the cucumber, enter, is just enter. That is the only thing that is always available. But when it comes to the real fact of the time, and it can be coming to the real time that we need, we're going to be making sure that everything is protruding very effectively here. So keep it tuned, keep it locked. They're going to be updating you whatever comes next onto the position, and they're going to be driving it correctly onto you. And this is what we call the movement, and we are making a move, because guys, even piping only, it has used more than 60 pipes already, and also making sure that there are so many switch boxes here, so many socket boxes here, and making sure that even wires that I came with from Nairobi, I don't think if they will be just enough, because we need more than because I came with so many rolls, like 18 rolls here. So I'm going to be making sure that I'm going to be purchasing more, even a 4.0 gauge of a wire and the 6 gauge wire going to be doing the work here, because we have the sockets from the shower, and talk about the sockets from making sure the supply of electricity to the showers and supply of electricity to the cookers of the kitchen. Also, whenever we're going to be using I talk about the laundry machines, we're going to be using the 4 gauge, and the 6 gauge is going to be coming from the dropping cable of the electricity pole, and whenever we're going to be landing onto the G castle, going to be using the 6 gauge and the 4 gauge, 2 and 5 gauge and 1.5 gauge that are going to be coming to the lights, because all the lights here I've been told that they're going to be using a 1.5. So 1.5 gauge going to be so much be used here, and 2.5. The 4 gauge and 6 gauge going to be used in a less quantity, and but the 2.5 and 1.5, which is the majority of the lightings, because this kind of the house going to be consuming a lot of energy, and that's why we're going to be having a backup of the solar system and to the G castle here, to make sure that talk about the bills of electricity going to be lowered a little bit because of the lighting that we're going to be having. It's going to be like a heaven in nature, because we wanted to make sure that everything is so fantastic whenever it comes to the reality. We want the reality to come, and when I say about we are moving in a good standard way of making sure that we are having something new every time, and when we have just finished with the piping, it means that tomorrow is on Saturday, we're going to be resting, and on Sunday a little bit, so as I can just make sure that Fundi Duke, who is the welder from Mombasa, going to be demobilizing and to the G castle to make sure that he's going to be kicking over his staffs, like making sure that the welding is done, because the one who quoted for me what has to do and making sure that everything is so fantastic. So I'm going to be doing his own work, very fantastic, because I told him that you're going to be doing, make sure that everything you are ever doing is lately, because everything is new technology. I have to make sure that things are done very meticulous. That's why I've offered that my electricity is mine, and everything is mine. The only thing you're going to be coming out with is just the body and the machine. And the body going to be having the knowledge and the skills, and the machine to help the work be done. That is the fact that we're going to be coming out to you, and we're going to be making sure that you are gauging everything and getting to this kind of the position. But right now, going to be so secure because this kind of the electricity is so delicate. Whenever this kind of much of the people talk about, oh, Gintu, we want to have some charging here, now the house is this way. You want to be kicked like a safari rally. I don't want to have such kind of a moment reaching too much of the people, but making sure that I'm securing everything in a security way, and everything will be coming from here. So if it's going to be coming from here, going to be using the 6 gauge that we're going to be having a dropping cable, because right now we have a 2.5 millimeter over talk about the piping here, and they're going to be making sure they're going to be coming one-on-one to the kitchen, where now we have the main switch box that we're going to be controlling everything of the house, because I'm told that they're going to be holding more than 12 fuses, more than 14 fuses, because we have 14 pipings there, and we're going to be making sure that we have 14 pipes here, and we're going to be making sure that they're going to be supplied with much of the electricity and to the panel, and everything is done very fantastic. And whenever now the piping going to be coming, of making sure that the upper piping, whenever they will have put the ceiling board timbers here, they will make sure that the CCTVs are being fed with their own pipes there. So I'm going to be having now getting more than 80 pipes that are going to be doing the work of getting to the all resemblance area to make sure that everything is running very according. So I've used much of the people who are qualified in terms of doing this kind of electricity, in terms of getting everything done very completely. So keep it tuned. I'm going to be updating you whatever comes out from the G Castle. We are moving. We are no longer having the same osquams that we are ever having, but we are moving in a well and a well moderative way. So keep it tuned, and everything going to be coming to you. If you want to support Gintu, just contact. I have the number at the description. You can just get it there and support Gintu and make it happen. The only thing that's remaining, guys, here is the tiles. Somebody to support me get the tiles, guys. Tiles. And we can just talk about everything going to be so fantastic. And also we're going to be doing some of the things about the welding, and we have to make sure that everything is coming to live, and I'll never fail you, because when we tangle to make the commencement, we ever do it very responsibly and do it very gently. And this is how we're going to be getting forward and getting more forward from here. So my store here, it's going to be having how many cement? I have 18 cements only, and I'm going to be having them onto the tiling, because today I was having 20 onto the store, and I've just used 2 already in terms of filling all the talk about these channels that were being created here to put the switch boxes here. So everything is coming to live, which is one-on-one. Wagwan!